approach note to the triads, right? So again, if we're in F7, we'll play an approach note to F7, and then from that note that we're landing on, we'll go down with the scale, with the bebop scale. So, for example, so if within a phrase, you can do like just starting on the end of one, like 8-note rest, the end of one, 8-note, and then a triplet, and then the phrase, the scale down. So it would sound like that: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, and of course we can add those like all these like embellishment for the one, or you know, extending the phrase more if you want. But the idea is, again, the basic idea is we're starting a chromatic note to the septochord of the scale, and I was starting from F7. Then from F7, we're using the rules that we just talked about. So if I'm starting from the 7th degree, we have two options: 1 chromatic note or 3 chromatic notes. That's why it's really good to kind of practice the first part really well and then go to the second part. So assuming you understand that, the next chord would be, if this is F7, the next chord would be G minor 7. So again, we're playing chromatic note to G minor 7, right? And I'm trying to stay within this this kind of area of the neck. So the same rhythmic placement for now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, you don't have to add that like little thing, but you can. So basically what I was doing is a chromatic note to G minor 7, and then I'm hitting 1, right, because the 7th degree of G minor 7 is F, and then from F I'm just playing the bebop scale down, right? It's very simple. And again, the chromatic note is between the 1 and the 7, and I can do 1 or 3 chromatics. In this case, I just did 1 chromatic note, right? And it's already sounding like, you know, a simple but yet effective bebop scale to describe the progression. Then the second one, or I would say the third triad, the next one basically would be A half diminished, right? We're going through the chords of the scale. We're in F7, right? You know, it's the same chord as B flat major, right? So A half diminished. From the 2, we have two options. We can either do no chromatics or 2 chromatics. I'll do both. Right, no chromatics or 2. And again, of course, we can continue whatever we want. After A half diminished, we have B flat major 7. So we're hitting the 3 in relationship to the F of the bebop scale, and from the 3 we have again two options: 1 chromatic or 3 chromatics, or right. Next chord, C minor 7, we're hitting the 4 in relationship again to F7. So from 4 we have 0 or 2, or right. Next chord would be D minor 7 from the 5th. That would be the 5th of F, right? The 5th in the sense of the note that I'm hitting after playing the arpeggio up would be the 5th of F of the, and then we use the rules of the bebop scale going down from the 5th. So that would be 1 chromatic or 3. So or next one would be E flat, so E flat major 7, right? So in that sense, again, we're hitting the 6th of in relationship to the F7, and that has 0 or 2, or and then the next one will be F7, or that was 1 chromatic or 3 chromatics, next one will be, again, G minor 7. This is the one we kind of talked in the beginning. That's and a lot of times what's the next step would be like thinking about the trident substitution and kind of mixing the F7 with the B7, but that's we won't talk about it right now. But that combination of the F7 and B7 gives you a lot of chromatic, sound, of course, and it's really cool. The next step to that, I would say, again, if you think about F7 and you're adding, the flat 9, so basically you're getting a diminished chord, and then that F sharp diminished could be interpreted as, being different dominant chords. In that sense, we can theoretically get from that diminished, we can get F7, but we can also get A flat 7, B7 and D7. So in theory, or more than theory, what bebop musicians did and doing is kind of borrowing elements from these scales and from these dominants and kind of mixing them. And again, it's the same idea of tension and release, right? If you're going further out, in that sense, you're further away and you have more chromatic sounds that are stronger in a way. But again, you can always come back and resolve that in a melodic and harmonic way that making sense, but using those rules of the chromatic approach, you can really articulate the chord that you're dealing with. In that sense, you're creating a very specific sound, right? So again, this is super kind of bebop scales 101. If you guys are interested, I wrote this PDF. I mean, it's just basically just what I said right now. I can send it to you guys if you want. You can leave me a comment with your email and I'll just send it to you. It's just just that written down. So if that's helpful, let me know. Yeah, again, I think it's great to study everything that's possible, and I checked that out to a certain extent, but I'm definitely not a master of that. If you know Pasquale Grasso, is an amazing guitar player in New York. I mean, he plays this language just incredibly. He's basically playing Bud Powell on guitar. It's remarkable, and he studied with Barry Harris closely. Again, there are a lot of masters of that language, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit to kind of share some light in on the subject that I had a chance to check out, and some of you maybe are not in New York and didn't hang with these cats. So yeah, I hope this is helpful, and let me know, and yeah, let's talk soon. Thank you guys. Bye.